Now in the early 2000s, Musharraf the state steps in
Yeah.
and starts putting in some regulations. So, content from India is now not available, and they're allowing for these licenses for local platforms, etc. Or once again, you see a big boom because people love music,
Yeah.
and once again, it's so TV pe Pepsi Battle to Bands is a big Kickstarter for that era
Yeah.
because um, you know what is important is that this is also the real last era before the internet is a big thing, and so monoculture exists, right? Which means कि अगर वो मैंने जैसे कि मैं जब Battle of the Bands air हुआ था, so I was studying abroad, and so I didn't catch that run. But by the time I came to Pakistan a few months later, within a little while I had listened to all the songs and everything because everyone had heard all of it
Yeah.
because
That
it
was
was
the
a TV
wave.
show that went big,
Yeah.
right? So उसके बाद now all of those bands were performing, and then फिर Indus Music आता है and XYZ, and then the
Yeah.
same process follows, right? कि someone like Atif, for example, it's a story कि उसने 3 दिन Indus Music में वो सोता रहा है कि just to make sure that they play 3 दिन 1 दिन, I don't know, but like the legend is that he spent the night there just to make sure that they play his music video.
Right.
And Atif didn't have an agent or label or falana or anything. Like कि वो yes, those things also popped up in that era as well, but they once again, they were certainly perhaps more professional and than the 90s. And for a little while it seemed like the big players are coming in. So
Yeah.
you have Fire
Fire
Records
Records. Yeah.
that eventually is the tail of this era. But I think यहाँ पे this is probably also like is a sad part coming in now, is that for all its problems, the music industry is slowly rationalizing in this era, right? So you have the emergence of something like a label, and if that label had come in, so what you see with television, for example, television also really suffered from PTV के ड्रामों के वो videos बनती थी, and no one made money off that legally, right? And they were still like doing crazy business.
Yeah.
तो वहां पे आपका ये एटलीस्ट था कि अब अगर ये प्राइवेट चैनल्स एंटर दिस लाइक व्हेन दे एंटर्ड विद ड्रामास, नाउ पाकिस्तान में फाइंडिंग bootleg copies of local dramas or films is impossible. And obviously अब तो YouTube आ गया तो वो गुफ्तगू ही बदल गई है, मगर it had stopped, right? So what that shows you is that is, oh, Pakistan में कुछ नहीं हो सकता is bullshit, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it just basically needs direction at an institutional level, right? So at this time you have the geos of the world like kind of moving in, and sure they sign people onto extremely controversial contracts, and
Yeah.
then also refuse to release that music. So
Yeah.
Moj's album is the most famous victim
Yeah.
of it. But at the end of the day, what was really tragic was that even if, like this was still going in the trending in the right direction, but then the country erupts in terrorism, right?
Yeah.
And so wahan pe phir once that just drained the existing process. But what it also did was that this was great. This was the golden era of news media, right? And
Yeah.
the more than anything else, वो 2-3 साल ये था कि मुल्क में हर 2 मिनट बाद कुछ ना कुछ हो रहा था. You needed live coverage,
Yeah.
right? Like which meant you needed a DSNG, you needed a
Mm.
TV van, which are expensive. So a lot of that resource and investment that was going into these kinds of efforts in creative channels and appealing to the youth and falana and dhimkana, all of that shifts to news
Towards
media.
yeah news.